Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing a pour on a round surface, and I've pretty much used the following recipe roughly because I've eyeballed it. So I've been using Liquitex Basics paints, and for 1 part paint I've poured approximately 1 part glue, 1 part Floetrol, and almost no water. Basically just a couple of drops. And then I've added 4 drops of silicone into my dark blue and into my aqua green. I'm going to be using these 3 colors and some white and do a flip cup pour. So let's get started. Let's torch this a little bit more, see what happens. One thing I'd like to say compared to other artists who do pouring videos is that it feels like everyone's searching for the perfect recipe to get the perfect cells, the most round cells and all that. And while that's all fun, honestly, I'm not too bothered. I'm not trying to do that and get perfect cells. I'm just doing my thing and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. That's pretty much my only aim. And for those people who say all those little white dots popping up are not really cells, who cares? They look really pretty. I think those really big fat cells actually don't look, if that's all you have on one painting, then it's not that interesting to me. I actually prefer having a variation of larger cells, even though they're not perfect, with tiny little cells. I think it gives a little bit more depth to your painting. So just, you know, don't get discouraged and just keep going. Don't try to aim for perfection. Not straight away anyway. Now, there's just one spot. I don't really like this sort of white triangle there, so I'm just going to use a straw to blow on it a little bit, see what happens. Just sort of try to disguise it a little bit, so it's not so obvious. More torching. Yeah, that's better. Let's see if there's anything else that's not so good. That bit there, not that excited about, so I'm going to turn this around, see if I can do something about it. Just being a little picky, I guess. One thing I'll say is that I probably had a little bit too much paint in my pouring cup, that's for sure. And then this yellow bit. Now there's heaps of colors still underneath because my paint is quite thick, so I could definitely blow some of it off a little bit just to reveal the colors underneath, like here for instance. So if there is a section you don't really like that much, maybe try blowing on it a little bit, see if there's something interesting underneath. But just be gentle, of course. Let's see. Just a little bit around here maybe. So as you can see, I'm not aiming for perfection straight away. I think it's way too much pressure. So I do my pour and then I see what happens. I don't usually just do one pour and leave it alone. I just have to fiddle with it a little bit before I leave it alone. And then some more, of course. So what I'm looking for to change is basically areas that are a bit flat or that are a bit too thick and too chunky, that stand out a bit too much to my liking. But everyone's got different tastes, so you know, don't worry, as long as it's pleasing to you, that really is all that matters. Now I have a puppy in the background who's still excited every time he hears me talking to the camera or to someone on the phone. He thinks someone's there, and he's so curious and affectionate that he must know who's there. So he whines until he gets to see who it is, which basically is never anyone if I'm on the phone or talking to you guys, obviously. But anyway, that's the strange noises you may hear in the background. And then also, in some areas I can see I have little cells and they're buried under the paint, so I try to blow on them gently straight down with my straw, just to sort of warm up the paint and let the cell pop up to the surface a little bit more. Just to have some little interest here and there. And if you have a cell that looks a bit wonky, then that's a way to reshape it as well. So here I've got a cluster of little cells, so I can sort of pick and choose which ones I want to pop up a little bit and stand out a little bit more than the rest. So I've got, you know, a bit of a selection of different sizes. It makes it look way more interesting in my eyes. Sorry if you're seeing the top of my head. Not the exciting part, that's for sure. But anyway, that's pretty much my process. So as I said, I don't try to make it perfect right out of the cup. Some people can do that. Not at this stage anyway, but I'm really enjoying the process and the journey and really having fun with this. So I hope you are too. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this piece. I think you could do with a little bit more yellow here, just to balance out the yellow, the big expensive yellow here on this side. You can try to blow on it a bit more, see if we can bring some up. There you go, magic. There was some yellow hiding in there. Feel a bit better having some on this side when there is so much yellow on that side. Okay. And also be careful when you're using a straw and blowing it a lot. Just shake it out away from your painting every few times you're blowing it, because it's easy to kind of have some drool, some condensation just dripping down onto your paint. You don't want that. Even if you're really careful, it just seems to happen anyway. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy. I like this bit of white with the tiny bubbles inside. I'm just going to blow again a little bit on these bits here. And leave them alone, I think. I always say that and then I keep going. addictive. Okay, I'm going to torch this again. I don't think it's going to change that much because the paint is quite thick, as I mentioned. But you never know, if there's a few baby cells who want to come up, then now's the time. And every time you move your paint in any way, if you blow on it, for instance, then it's a good idea just to torch again over it after, before you let your painting rest. Okay, that's pretty much it. Another thing I don't really worry about too much, unlike most people, is the edges. This is a very thin surface, so I'm just going to wipe the extra paint underneath, and then I will let it dry. If there's any paint that's not on the edge, then I'm not worried, because I will most likely paint over with a paintbrush later on, so I'm not too worried about that either. I think this looks pretty good. I hope you like it. And then, is there anything we should change? No, I think I'm just done. Let's leave it at that. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you do want to see more pouring videos, then let me know. Leave me a comment below. Make sure to subscribe and see what other videos I have. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.